changes. I could then try to merge in my changes real quick, and then
Yeah, I should probably do that.
yeah, that makes sense.
You didn't make any changes to the map, did you?
No.
Question mark?
See why you don't make changes to the map? Although every time I open a project, it makes changes to the map regardless for some reason, which is weird.
I don't know. I think there's something not properly saving map.
Also fix some bugs where you transform into Wisp in the G section and the issue where it's oh, I don't know what to do. Sometimes it let the camera flex itself in ass.
Okay.
The only issue that seems to happen now, at least with Burst, is that I transfer to Burst and jump around, and it seems to maybe Burst is just maybe it has something to do with the controls, but he tends to try to burst himself outside of the 2D section. So I'm not sure if maybe the impulse is just so strong that he gets pushed out of it, or maybe I don't know, it's just not catching him. I don't know.
Do you think we should make it if you roll on water, you just cut through the water?
You mean you just?
Oh, Knuckles is drowning, is on his feet. We haven't fixed that.
Yeah, we just gotta move his.
Yeah, that's not hard.
Oh no, Knuckles, your feet are submerged underwater. He ain't happy about this. He's like, no, not the Jace.
I throw it like butter.
Throw it like butter.
I did push my change.
Okay, it's gonna take a second. Hold on. Oh, there it is. And I'm getting another call. Hold on.
How's it going, Void? How you doing? It has been a while.
Get me the butter.
Get me the butter.
All right, so we've come to make an announcement. No, not that announcement. That's Tuesday's announcement. Our announcement this week is we are the rebrand, right, guys? So essentially, the Knuckles framework won.
I thought it was the big framework.
No.
I thought we all decided on
big votes.
framework.
I rigged the votes. It's now Knuckles' big framework. That is a bug.
It's Big's big framework. You're fine. That's good to hear.
And essentially, the first thing you see when you open up the project now is going to be Knuckles saying, "Do you think we need your power? Do you think I need your power?" And then just fucking dunks Sonic, slam dunks him into a checkpoint and gets 10 points.
Jump on the rail
10 points to Gryffindor. I am. Knuckles has never gone so fast. We're waiting for Emmanuel to do something as well, guys.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Did you push it? Is it pushing or
not? No, apparently you made a change in the master, and I apparently made a change in the master, so I'm just going to check it really quickly, and then I'll push it.
So give me cleaning code.
Well, I'll go ahead and open up the project and want you to handle that. I'll just restart it once you get it.
Okay. It takes me
Knuckles, go!
A good minute to open a project, so give me a second.
Okay. What did you change in the master?
I don't remember. I don't remember if because I remember messing around with it because I was trying to figure out what the issue with the 2D sections was. Because at first I thought it was the dash panel, so I did cut some stuff out, then put it back when I realized it wasn't it. So I'm just checking and make sure it's not going to break if I just merging or changes.
I made one change to the speed parent and the master parent, but most of what I did involved the shoulder graph. I didn't really change anything outside of the shoulder graph.
Yeah, no, any change you made is fine. Just make sure that I didn't make a change that was important and I'm going to forget.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say, I don't think any of the changes I made should affect what you.
Yeah. Well, you can't merge them to a file from 2 different versions together. You have to choose one. Yeah. And then just kind of annoying, but it makes sense.
Yeah. In an ideal world, we could do a checkout system, but
well, ideally we would be using code, and then in lines of code you can do it, but this is a binary file.
Yeah. Unreal has a system where you can check out.
Oh!
Oof. You almost made that. Very close.
I just love the freaking flailing of the arms as he died. Ooh.
Can we record Reese's scream and make that Knuckles' new death sound? Oh!
What? Oh!
I mean, we have it saved because we're on Twitch, so.
Shit. You owe me $20 if you do that. 20,000.
Give me 1 second. Boyd, we
One.
are just about to get started. I had to reopen the project because I thought my man was pushing changes, but I guess he was. Can't. Let me finish pushing. Alrighty.
Oh, look at pretty camera angles.
It is pretty camera.
Okay, I guess that was good. I'm gonna push these changes. Wait,
now you're gonna
actually,
changes.
okay, I'm gonna go push them. I closed the project. And I realized I should have changed the music, but it's too late. Can you please change it back?
No. I'll forever stay this amazing piece of art.
Can you at least press H?
Yeah. All right. So we don't have a whole lot to do because I've only been back for like a week.
Dude.
And everybody has been doing Christmas or holiday related stuff as well.
We do have stuff to show off, but
I mean, since the last Death Stream, there's a kind of some stuff.
There's more than the last time we showed off anything.
Oh, remember, we skipped the last dev stream, remember?
Well, yeah, I'm on about the last dev stream that we did.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, we skipped that one because...
So I'm saying, like, we have to go over all the stuff we did when we skipped that.
Yeah, which is a decent amount.
Oh god, punch drifting.
Can't wait to change that move to Knuckles, Idris Elba's
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Just changes into Idris. We just change him into Idris Elba.
Do I look like I need your power? That would actually be kind of cool. Like replace that combo with him like holding out his hand and it's like a counter.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it'd be interesting for Knuckles to have a counter.
Yeah, I actually had some ideas, but I'll talk about it after I maybe write it down on a piece of paper and think about it.
It's terrible.
Oh, damn it.
I don't care what it is. I just already know it's terrible.
Reese is like, does it look like I need your ideas?
Oh no.
Does it look like I need your Sonics?
Knuckles' worst nightmare.
I don't think I keep doing this. I keep saying does instead of do. I don't know why, but
why Knuckles I guess does that?
Well, no, like the quote from the trailer. Because the way I would pronounce it is, does it look like I need your power? But do I look like I need your power? Is what he says.
Do I look like I need your power? All right. Please don't forget to pull changes. I did.
That's fine. I'm not doing anything anyway. I'm just messing around in the project.
Okay. Cool. So I guess the first thing we can go over is there a trail for the spin dash yet? No. I think this is like the 5th time you've asked, and that's not a priority. Like, we'll eventually get around to that. That is on the docket, but it is not a priority right now. We've got other.
Our docket is about like 50 items long.
It is.
Yeah. We have a 30-year-old franchise here. Trust me, there's a lot of things people ask for. But I understand what you mean.
Just like Fizz asks for big.
We're not gonna add him in.
We're never adding big in. We're not the leaders of the project, but we made the decision.
The executive choice.
The executive choice.
We're actually investors.
We are the investors.
I came in and I'm like, all right, we're adding big. I'm the boss. We're gonna add big, and you're like, no.
How about we don't?
No,
just puffing our cigars.
How about we add Honey the cat instead?
Reese is like, we're adding Mighty. I'm like, what about big? I said we're adding Mighty.
We're adding Mighty.
Hey guys, we're adding Whisper. Who the fuck is Whisper?
Who the fuck?
Say we're adding big. I said we're adding Mighty.
Yeah, exactly. We're adding Mighty.
All right, so to actually get started here,
yeah.
Spline Cameras. I know. I think we've showed this out before, but it's in a lot of better state now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have two different types of spline cameras. We have the movement spline. You've seen the movement splines. You know what they are. Now the movement splines now have an additional function specifically for a spline camera, which is optional. You don't have to use a spline camera for them. Obviously, there's an option to turn them off. I don't know what that option is.
Oh, there's a spline camera section. If you scroll down hard enough.
If I scroll down hard enough.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream, so I'm like behind you, but I'm sure you can figure it out.
I'll share.
You're gonna do what I was hoping you were gonna do. There we go. Now we can actually see live footage.
Kind of trying to save resources. Hopefully that. So spline camera. Okay, so for example, spline camera on here is on, but spline camera on this one is off. So there's no spline camera on this. So the using spline cameras on these spline paths are optional. So things like this type of spline camera, which is a nudge one, or this type of spline, it's a nudge spline. It simply pulls you into the center. It doesn't really force you. It kind of just kind of corrects you a little bit.
That one turns you towards the center, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of pulls you towards the center. That's all it does. It doesn't really force you. It just pulls you, kind of helps course corrects you is the point of it. This is an example of an example of a spline you may not want a spline camera for, so obviously it's turned off. But this one here is a lock camera, or a lock spline. Once you're pulled into it, you're locked onto that route.
You're on rails, essentially.
Yeah. So obviously you don't have to have a spline camera with that one. If you just want player to have free camera movement, they can. But obviously you could also have a spline camera, in which case turning it on will cause the spline to... Well, I don't know if it causes it.
No, the spline is always there. It's just that turning it on makes the camera use the spline. Yeah. Of course, you have to make the spline yourself.
So you'll have to, like, stretch the spline out over here. So, like, this movement spline over here, you can see the camera spline component. Like, this here is the camera spline component right here. But,
it's not being used.
It's just not being used. It's not been set up. Same thing with this one over here. I think this one is also a full spline.
It's actually technically... So, the yellow one you were talking about is technically a turn spline, because it turns Sonic. This one is called a nudge spline, because it adds a force to Sonic to push him physically towards where he's supposed to be.
This one is a little bit more powerful, the idea. Like, it's really meant to keep you without straight up pulling control, the idea. But this one does have a spline, as you can see, camera. And so does this one over here. This is also the cart. Did we get rid of the lock spline, or did we get rid of the cart spline? Which one did we get rid of?
Technically we got... So, I guess the best way to explain is that there's an enum, like there's different types of splines, like you have the lock, turn, nudge, and then we used to have the cart spline, but now the lock spline is now a subset, the cart spline is now a subset of the lock spline. So if you go under the lock section, you will see something called cart, and you can turn it on and it becomes a cart spline.
So we have this one here, for example, is called lock. This one over here will also be called lock. But if we go down to the lock subsection, cart.
Yeah, and there's also the cart settings and stuff like that.
Yeah. So essentially, the cart forces you along versus the lock does not. So both of them will lock you into place. It will lock you along the spline path. Like, you have no option but to go across the spline path if you are overlapped with spline. But the difference between a cart and a non-cart lock path is the fact that a cart will automatically push you along. So if I walked into this one over here, I'm able to move forward and backward however I want. But the spline will lock me along its path, versus if I overlap with this one will automatically pull me up to the top because it's spline.
Yes, a bit of housekeeping real quick before we move on. You see in the lock spline, there's a new variable called spline gravity. I didn't really go over it that much, but that is what enables you to essentially run up and down walls. So, like, you can recreate Sonic 06 using that. If you turn that off, you will obey normal gravity when going up walls, and you can just fall out of the spline, essentially. Yeah.
Come on. I don't know why the navigation decided to unbuild. I don't remember anything.
Weird. Also, I guess this building real quick could go over what replaces the car spline with nothing.
Yeah,
It's been replaced with nothing.
literally nothing.
Yeah, it's literally the idea is that it's called none, and just means that it won't really have any effect on the player, except for maybe like auto rotation, auto recenter, like stuff that splines can do if you enter or exit. But the idea is that if you want a spline camera, for instance, but you don't want to change the camera player at all, you just make a none spline and just have a camera that follows it.
As you can see, this spline is red, but this spline over here is green. Both of these are lock splines, but the thing is the green one indicates that it's a cart spline. So if I walk into this one, you can see it pulled me into place onto the spline. However, I am allowed to move forward and backwards however I want. I'm not even allowed to like stop, even if I'm on a wall. It does not care if I'm on a wall. It will force me to be however it wants me to be. As I'm just allowed to move forward and backwards however I want. The idea.
And you can jump.
What?
And you can jump in them, which we showed up before, but yeah.
And then there's the cart one, which will automatically pull me forward. I have no say in it. It just automatically pulls me forward. It's essentially an automated spline is what it is. But the thing is both of these kinds of splines have the ability to attach a dynamic camera spline to it. So if I walk into this one, you can see the camera has been pulled away.
Yeah.
I still have some influence over the camera. Like I can rotate it. And there's also a mode that allows you to shift it rather than rotate. But as you can see, as I move along the spline, the camera will move along its.
Yeah, and there's also some, actually you could show off the rest of the splines and I'll explain some more details about them later.
So obviously here's a spline without the camera. No camera spline is doing anything. Similar to the ones earlier with the up on the wall. There's this one over here. Turn spline, or nudge spline. It has its own camera spline as well. And then here's an example over here. Wait, is this one? Okay, no, this one is still. It's a camera. Is it the cart one that allows you to like?
Yeah, but it's not very noticeable. I learned, but I think also, yeah, it's not really noticeable.
How you doing today, Zacher? Hope you're having a good day. So obviously this one here is a lock one. I'm being pushed along, and the camera is being pushed along its spline as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to
jump
tell.
And stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can shift the camera around, like move it up and down a little bit. So that's an example of the camera being able to move, like up and down physically rather than rotate.
And we can also show off
like an amount, obviously.
Yeah, and like you can have a lot of fun with these. Like you can show off that one spline that we made a Twitter clip out of.
Yeah, we posted this stuff on Twitter before, and this one clip got a lot of attention. So. That there is an example of using the splines in a more cinematic approach. Like this spline that's along the wall here is I believe it's a cart spline, but it has its own camera spline with it that whenever I overlapped with and was pulled along, the camera would move along its own spline. Kind of giving a more cinematic feel.
Yeah, it kind of gives it this special like pizzazz to it. Honestly, like, you know, you don't have to put these in your levels. This is just like, this is not the most ultimate way to use it for gameplay, but it's just kind of cool to show off that you can do it. And as you notice, like, Sonic wasn't running along the wall. It snatched him and placed him on the wall, which, as you can imagine, is pretty useful.
Yeah, like, I was technically falling. Like, whenever I came out of this, portal ring, I'm technically in a falling state. I'm not attached to the wall, but whenever I flew up high enough to overlap with spline that's further up, it's kind of hard to see. Falling's in the way. Whenever I flew up high enough to overlap with that spline, it automatically snapped me to the wall. So you can use those to snap Sonic to surfaces as well. Basically, these splines are amazing to like showcase cinematic sections. If you know how to pull the camera work off correctly, you know how to path them across your level. They're amazing. Are those portal rings from the movie? Yeah, these were inspired by the movie. I wanted to add these a long time ago, but I didn't have the skill to do so back then. And they're still not finished, but they are very close to being done.
Functionality-wise, they have very few bugs, and I can't think of anything else to add other than, like, some housekeeping stuff.
Yeah, there's like maybe 1 or 2 functions I might add with them in terms of like rotation stuff, like rotation-related stuff. But for the most part, these are
really
pretty
visually
much done. Yeah, all that's left is visual work. They, as you can see, they still got some visual caveats to them.
Yeah, we can add in all those movie effects later on.
Yeah.
Speaking of cinematics, if you go into that you know that you want to show off the translation camera effect. If you go to that one Canon that like can switch between different like destinations, I think that one allows you to translate the camera around.
Here?
Yeah, I think I added to that because those things have cameras. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm moving the camera around. Instead of the camera rotating and looking, it's simply shifting left and right, and like up and down. So this is an example of the camera being able to shift rather than rotate if it's in a locked position. So obviously, there are different types of locked positions for cameras that want to be moved. But, that's just an example of it shifting rather than rotating.
Yeah, and you can show off the 2D section too as a new color now.
Did you fix the 2D section?
Yeah, they should be fixed.
Let's try it. Fix the section.
I'm with all these here. Just quiet.
2D sections. I can push my changes.
I tried moving the camera with my mouse wheel. I think that's what reset it. Like trying to change the distance of the arm length.
Oh, that could be it. I need to pass that. But
anyway,
I can see it's orange now, and the reason I show it as orange is because now 2D sections can actually be combined with cart sections to make a new color, which we'll show off in a bit. But yeah, 2D sections are mostly the same.
So, on top of those cameras, if you don't want to have a spline camera attached to an actual movement spline, you don't have to. We have these cinematic trigger actors right here, where like the camera can just be pulled out to a location whenever Sonic enters the trigger. There are no movement splines here. This is simply just like a cinematic camera angle. That's the whole thing. It's a trigger to move the camera to a different location. We do have one with a spline, and we're going to combine them into one. We currently have 2 separate actors, but we're planning on combining them into one singular actor. We do have a trigger with no movement spline attached to it. That simply just moves the camera along a spline.
Yeah, closest to where Sonic is.
Yeah. It'll try its best to follow Sonic, try to get as close to Sonic as possible.
And this one specifically, I told to look at position, which is like where that wall is. So that's why it's not actually looking at Sonic, it's looking at that wall. I just position it so that Sonic should always be in frame.
So if I were to exit out here, and we were to select this actor, you can see this location right here. This is the location that it's looking at.
Yeah.
We change it to
scroll up. It's like called SCAM spline stuff.
Look at player. SCAM look at player.
Yeah, that's not being used right now. The camera tracking. I'll change that when I port it over.
Okay. So if we change it to that, the thing should look directly at Sonic. Oh wait, no.
I need to turn off look at point. Sorry. No. Scroll down a bit. There should be something called look at point. Yeah. Eventually, I need to add in something so that if you turn one on, it turns the other one off automatically, I guess.
So now it's trying to check Sonic's location specifically. Obviously, still trying to be as close to Sonic as possible. So you can set it to look at a specific location if you want to give it kind of a feel, or if you would prefer it just try to keep locked on to Sonic, player character, whoever it is, you know, it'll do that as well. So as you can see, the camera is very clearly following Sonic, trying to keep Sonic in frame. But if I change these settings back to point, it will simply try to look at where that point is located at. So Sonic is no longer in Central Frame. So we got some options, and like I said, these are two separate actors. Like, they're two different actors. But we are planning on combining them to one. Like, if I were to select this here, it would be dynamic camera, or BP underscore dynamic camera. This one is BP Spline camera. We're probably just going to combine it into one as the BP dynamic camera, and we will simply have an option that says, do you want to use the spline? And if you have it turned off, it will not use the spline. It will just use the default camera position. But yeah, that is some neat camera stuff that we've got going on. Very great for setting up cinematic shots.
There's also one other actor that had the spline cameras added to.
Oh yes, there was.
Take the scenic route. If you take that path, you'll also be able to show off how the cart and 2D splines can be connected.
But there's a little use for it. And it had the grind rails now have their own camera spline.
Yeah, with all the same options.
Use optionally. Yeah, it has all the same options as the others, and obviously it in itself is optional. You don't have to use it. You can turn it off if you just want to have regular camera control while on a grind rail.
Funnily enough, I didn't realize that this rail was quote-unquote backwards, like what you would think at the start of is actually the back of it.
Yeah.
And when I created the spline camera, I actually made it backwards. So I added an option that reverses all the variables and parameters in case you just happen to make the mistake I did. Yeah. So thank you, Reese, for making it backwards, because now it should help with other people.
What? What do you mean backwards?
As in, point 0 is at the end, and the last point's at the beginning.
Yeah, it's not actually backwards. Obviously, it's relative. It's just like I made the spline without the camera spline without checking the orientation of the actual rail. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm not making it again. I'm going to instead code it and make a variable to reverse it just in case someone messes up as badly as I did.
Okay.
Anyway, real quick, I went and deleted them all because we didn't need them out here. I don't know if we went over this the last time we did a dev stream or not, but I do know whenever we were supposed to do a dev stream, we were going to showcase them, but instead we just posted it on Twitter. We have animations for the new Sonic model in. They were displayed all over the place, but they were also kind of, you know, not causing a whole lot of lag, but they were just causing unneeded resources to be
placeholder anyway, man.
But we've got a whole bunch of animations for the new Sonic model, like this one right here that you see in front of me. That's the new Sonic model we're going to be. We do have to fix the animations because their origin points are all off. But
we is probably the reason, unless we can figure out how to help them.
No, me job.
Another neat little thing that Reese did just the other day. You might have noticed this if you're paying attention. You've probably noticed this, but every time I stopped moving and every time I started moving, the camera would zoom in and zoom out. That's not me doing that. That's automatic. I usually do that. Like, I instinctively want to zoom out when I'm running, and I instinctively want to back in when I'm kind of just idling like this. But all of that is automatic. We now have like a
dynamic camera zooming.
Yep, it's based on your speed. So if I start running and I pick up speed, as you can see, it's zoomed out, giving me a better view of what's going on. And then as soon as I stop and come to a stop here, it's going to slowly zoom back in.
Yeah. It still needs to be integrated with mouse zoom. Like, technically, it overrides the mouse zoom, but we'll fix that soon.
Yeah, I can't manually zoom in and zoom out anymore at the moment. It's kind of a problem. Like, if I zoom the camera out, you can see it's automatically zooming back in. But that's because this was made for controller, not keyboard and mouse.
Why is the camera zooming in?
So this feature is mainly for controller, not keyboard and mouse. Because even though you do have camera control with controller, especially with its distance, I do remember I included that, if I remember right. It's not as intuitive as it is with keyboard and mouse, so
You've got it on the D-pad for zooming.
Yeah, that's about as good as we can get it, really. The whole idea was this was designed for a controller. That way you don't have to worry about it. So it does work with keyboard and mouse. It is pretty nice, but again, because it overrides a lot of the manual control of keyboard and mouse, it causes a little bit of issues. But again, we literally just implemented like 3 days ago.
Yesterday, actually.
Yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last night.
I had a long night at work. I didn't tell you guys what happened at work last night. I'll have to tell you what happened. I could probably tell you later.
Where are your manners?
Hey, so what was something else that we worked on? I've been cleaning the master character.
Fizz has been cleaning a lot of things.
I have been cleaning a lot of things. A couple of blueprints have been cleaned up. Let's see here. I believe I cleaned up the game mode. I've cleaned up the level manager. I've cleaned up some of the HUD stuff. I don't think I cleaned up the instant. That one up. A bunch of background blueprints that aren't like, you know, objects or things that you will immediately see while in gameplay. A lot of those things. There's a lot of background stuff I've been cleaning. Just things you wouldn't be able to see. So I can't really show it off to you. I mean, I can. Like if I opened up the level manager, you can see the code has been cleaned up. The variables have been organized. It's in a nice, orderly fashion. Decently commented as well. That way you guys understand which each chunk of code does. The only thing I didn't really do is I didn't really add comments to functions or variables, but honestly that shouldn't take too long. But that's something I've been doing. Again, not something that is very visually interesting to show off, but still it is work that has to be done and work that I have been doing. HUD master is up as well.
The master of HUDs.
I did reorganize some of these folders as well, like the enums, been all stuck in the enum folder, the data tables in a data table.
Fizz almost had an aneurysm trying to move the spline
path
because it wanted to be a bitch.
I did. Is this Unreal 5 or 4? This is still Unreal 4. We're probably not going to be moving to Unreal Engine 5. It would be way too much work to Unreal Engine.
Yeah, you guys want those features. You want those rolling ball trails. We can't do that if we port Unreal Engine 5.
Someone else can work on porting Infinity Plus to Unreal Engine 5. When we're done, obviously. If they want to start now, they can, but they're going to be porting updates. So my suggestion is if you want to update it to Unreal 5, probably wait till 1.0 is out.
Or join the team, you know, join the team and we can actually only join the team if you can make animation. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll give you a ticket so you can fly back to your country. Because I don't know why you came all the way over here.
New Sonic game mode that's also been cleaned well. Game mode.
Wait, isn't that the old one that Oban used?
No, that's the one that we're using, I believe.
That's why it's called New Sonic Game Mode.
Oh, my mistake.
Let me finish cleaning. Yep. So that's mainly what I've been doing. I've also started cleaning up the master character. If I open up the master, I started on. The movement graph, which was already pretty clean. Reese did a pretty good job cleaning it up. I just did some more odds and ends here and there. Things like collapse graphs or some changed things that hadn't been cleaned up since he worked on it last.
Got some air freshener.
For the most part, it was already cleaned. I just touched it up in some places that had been left alone and or changed since. I've also just today started working on the shoulder graph. So where like the shoulder buttons. This is significantly cleaner than what it was. There is like 2 massive chunks of commented code that were not being used. The old quick step code.
The mid-air dodge can probably be cold eventually, but I'll work with you on that.
Yeah, this could probably be moved to.
Because that's supposed to be speed character. I think speed character already has it. If I remember correctly.
We will still probably have to work together on cleaning it up because, and depending on what the functions the speed parents are using, I'll have to go.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
There's also like a couple of function or custom events that were being called here that I didn't delete. I didn't know if they were. But I'm not done with this. I still got to go through all the collapse nodes and stuff like that and clean up. Also a lot of nodes here in general that have to be read. But this is gradually being cleaned and organized and ready. This is the biggest blueprint that was needing to be cleaned. Next to like the splines and the water volume, the master character is the largest one, followed by all of its children. Speed parent, light parent, power parent, all of those will also need to be cleaned. Although those individual parents shouldn't take as long.
And I'll help with the spline, definitely, because I've been cleaning it as I've been working on it too. Yep. Shocking, I know.
Sonic skip when you barely click the button like in Generations. What?
He's asking about the short hop.
Short hop. Yes.
In terms of animations, no, not yet, but in terms of gameplay, yes.
Yeah. So Sonic does short hop. Like this is a short hop versus a full hop. Kind of hard to tell, but with the short hop, Sonic clears like 2 blocks, but with the full hop, Sonic clears like 3. So Sonic does do short hops, but the thing is the animation work isn't finished.
Yeah. Also, there is another difference that if you short hop, you don't lose any speed, while if you full hop, you start slowing down a bit.
Yeah. So as you can see here, max speed without boosting about 6,300. If I do a full jump, I slow down to like 4,000. But if I go back to max speed, and then I short hop, I don't lose speed. If anything, I actually gain speed, because short hopping is not meant to slow you down as jumps are. So short hopping is what it's called, and yes, you can short hop. It's about two blocks high versus the full jump that just blocks with an extra block in the double jump. Oh, you changed the drift.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The drift has been fixed. Apparently, the drift was broken this whole time, and we didn't know it.
I didn't know it, and I'm big dumb for not knowing.
So the drift now turns a lot tighter, because it was apparently not using a variable it was supposed to. But the drift is a lot tighter with its turning.
Especially if you use the camera.
Yep. If I like move the camera with it, it'll turn very quickly.
Yeah, it's gonna be so. Like the idea is that like if you're a mouse and keyboard, you have to use the camera to get a good turn. While if you're using
controller
gamepad, I'll change the value so that it will be faster and you won't need it.
Yeah, for controller, it's meant to be a little bit more traditional, but still easier to handle than in Generations and in Unleashed.
Yeah, and you see a little effect now too.
You can see the little effect whenever that little effect plays and you let go of the drift, you get like a little burst of speed.
Yeah, it's just something I realized that like if you play Sonic Riders, which is what the drift boost is based off of, the idea that if you drift for long enough, you get a little boost when you let go. I realized that that game could really benefit from like a visual cue to let you know when you can do it.
So even though the camera controls are super great, if I try to like make a 180 turn, Sonic would like come to a stop and have to run again. But if I decided to drift and I quickly turned, Sonic would turn around much quicker without losing hardly any speed.
Yeah, and the boost helps with that, because if you can time it right, you can boost in to finish the turn, and since it pushes you forward, it makes up for any speed you may have lost.
Yeah. So the idea of the drift is obviously what it's always supposed to be.
Yeah, and honestly, you can tweak your physics so that you won't need the boost. I mean, the drift, you can tweak your physics so you really need the drift, you know? Yeah. Especially while you're boosting, we did change the physics so that while you're boosting, your turn speed is greatly reduced.
Yeah, so simply turning left and right while boosting is a lot harder, which is what the drift is supposed to rectify.
Yeah. Just to make it more like the boost games, there is a variable that turns it off, or if you ask when we release it, I'll show you how to turn it off.
So drifting now works basically as we originally intended, but it wasn't beforehand, and we had no idea about it.
Yeah, we kind of got. Well, we weren't really paying attention to it, and we got used to it.
Yeah, we got used to its broken state, and we were like, yeah, this is fine. It's not ideal, but it's more than functional. And then Emmanuel's like, I was looking at the code, and I figured out that we're not using variables that we're supposed to. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it actually technically it was working until you did the, you know, the thing where you added the structures. Because then when we
Oh,
did
yeah.
that, I glossed over that like it was using
You
a variable
didn't-
that was not structure.
You weren't using some structure variables. You variables.
Yeah, so that was the issue. So at one point it was working. It wasn't always broken.
Yeah. But the drift now works better now. God.
Yay.
Was there anything else you worked on, Reese?
No, just mainly the camera zooming. I was going to do some cleaning up, but then I started with the camera zooming.
Yeah, there's a camera zoom thing. Obviously, you also imported those models. I've mainly done cleaning work.
No.
I've not done any work on any objects, on any stage objects. Back whenever I was on that stage object spree with, like, you know, the swing pole and the pulley and all that stuff, and the wisp items, that was me procrastinating. Like, I wasn't supposed to be working on those. I was supposed to be cleaning. But I had gotten so many things cleaned up. I was like, I need to work on something else. So I started the stage objects. But now I'm back to cleaning. Code cleaning is, once again, what I'm focused on.
Yeah, pick up the broom, man. Get back to work.
You gotta clean all of your spaghetti.
Exactly. It's what I'm here for.
I was doing some, like, just some physics tests. Hey, you're back. You're a bit late. Alright, that's fine. How you doing today? I was doing some, like, physics tests earlier. Like, I was running up and jumping off of ramps to, like, test the jump physics. Because, like, obviously, if you just jump regularly, especially on a slope, you really don't get any height. But if you're moving, when you jump, you gain extra height.
Yeah, because you carry your momentum height-wise up. Well, like your vertical momentum, too.
Yep. UI look great. It does look great. This is we're in the 06 theme.
Just ignore the boost bar.
Yeah, boost bar is the only bit that does not change.
Yep, it's still the hero's boost bar. But it's insane how much more distance you get than you do while running her.
Yeah, even slight slopes you can get a good bit of distance if you time it right, which is kind of cool. It's like unintentional in a sense. It's just that we code it in a way that allows for this.
I mean, it's true to the classics. If you spun dash up a ramp and jumped in the classics, you gain like a fuck ton of height.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like we were mad that this happened, just like we coded in a way that allowed this to happen, even though we weren't explicitly like, oh, it has to do this.
Yeah. Like, look how much height you can get.
Yeah. It's quite nice. And it's universal. You don't have to be boosting or anything to get this speed. Like any character can do these things.
Yeah, I mean any character can spin dash.
Yeah.
And the boost does benefit you. Like the boost is technically better than just a regular running jump. And if you boost up being a jump, you get quite a bit more height in air time. But the spin dash is obviously just broken. But the spin dash is also harder to do because whenever you take off from a spin dash, you're at a much higher speed, meaning it's a lot harder to time the jump properly.
Yeah, and you also have to like come to a standstill to start it still.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of give and take. Like I definitely think that if you do it right, the boost and the spin dash can coexist, you know? How's it going, Ezreal? How are you doing today? It's been a while. Reese is here too, but he's playing ILO.
Yes, I am here. I'm still like paying attention though.
Still like paying attention. Yeah, sure.
Have the results screen been worked on? I don't think so.
Nope.
No.
I haven't.
Yeah, I missed that jump.
Guess that answers the question.
Yeah, it happens.
Good. That's good to hear. That's a little bit better. What I miss? We didn't go over a whole lot. Man, look at that. We can go over again what we went over at the beginning, because there wasn't really a whole lot. It was mainly like just actually like 4 features and some backgrounds. I am making Bird AI and Infinity Engine through Knuckles. Bird AI?
Bird AI?
Bird up.
Bird up.
Ring, ring, ring.
To showcase what I missed, 'cause I don't, or what you missed, Zero. I don't think. Am I missing anything? Are we good?
Didn't like wait. It was Azerial here from the beginning.
No.
Like when did he go?
Like Zero just got here.
Show off the spline cameras stuff.
Okay. You got spline cameras. So splines that your camera attached to, but they are also built into the movement spline. They're obviously very optional. This here is a movement spline with no spline camera. Turn them off whenever you want. You can use them however you please because it's mine, obviously. You can move them like so, and you can also move them, move the camera rotating wise or shifting wise. Like you can shift its position rather than shift its rotation. And they work for any spline type.
There is a new.
Go ahead.
Because there's a new spline type called a non-spline, which just means that when you walk into it, nothing should really happen. Useful for like if you just want to highlight a path for a camera to follow. That kind of stuff.
We have 2 different splines now. We have the. Well, actually, no. We got rid of the spline type. We merged 2 splines together.
Yeah.
The red one here, we now have only one lock type. This here is a lock spline. The red one is just a basic lock. Whenever I overlap with it, it simply pulls me into its position. I'm allowed to move forward and backward however I please. It will not force me to move, but it does force me to stay in its path. So I can do shit like this.
And you can still jump too. That's an option.
Yep, I can jump while on the walls.
That was hard to go. That was hard to get working, mostly.
But that lock spline now has a separate option called cart, and then whenever you walk into a cart spline, it automatically pulls you along. And obviously you can set the variables as well as like how fast it pulls you in, if you're able to accelerate or decelerate. Essentially how I described it was a cart spline will put you into cruise control, in which case it has a minimum speed that it requires Sonic to move, and it will push Sonic at that minimum speed. But if you want, you can turn on an option to allow the player to continue to accelerate, meaning if I held forward, I could actually move faster. Like there's a default speed that I move along with this. Like this here's the default speed that it pulls me along. But I could also run faster. Like I could accelerate and boost along it and move even faster. Like I couldn't deviate from the path, obviously, but I was allowed to accelerate however I wanted. However, if I accelerate and then I stop, I will decelerate down to the minimum speed that it requires me, and it will continue. So it's like a cruise control.
Yeah.
If you know how to drive a car, that means it's basically cruise control. I think you can turn it off. Like didn't you have the option to where you can?
You can just turn it off.
Like any manual control period.
Essentially, yeah. If you turn off cruise control, then you don't have any control.
Yeah, like
over your speed.
It will push you at that speed.
Yeah. The only control you can maybe have is jump, but you can turn that off too. So essentially like that one cinematic cart spline you could take, you don't have any control over that at all until you leave. Because you can't jump even.
So if I went into this spline right here, I have no control. I could boost, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I have no control over this spline right here.
I may add a feature for that stuff too, like turning off all abilities or like certain abilities, depending.
But yeah, that's what those splines are capable of doing. We've definitely updated the splines. Spree and 8 would make it easier for Unleashed and Gen style stages. Yeah, these splines are definitely designed with stages in mind, like more modernized boost stages. Although they have their uses in adventure stages as well.
Yeah, especially adventure. When you think about it, there's a lot of adventure uses their fair share of like cinematic camera angles. I guess it's more so like obviously it's not like classic style games.
Yeah. The portals, the warp rings. The warp rings are cool. I'm proud of the warp. I think I did a good job on the warp.
I just think they're neat.
Yeah.
I just think they're neat.
Oh, real quick, can you go to that second 2D section, the one that's in the far end?
Oh, on the other side?
The one I reset it.
Yeah, I can head over there. Was there something you added over there, or?
Well, yeah, you can, like I say, you can combine 2D sections and carts so that you can have a 2D section that pushes you along.
Okay, yeah.
That's one reason why I wanted to combine them, so you can have that.
Before we do that, we also have splines that can simply, or camera splines that can just be activated through triggers. So this here is a simple trigger. There is no movement, no rail, no spline, or anything in this trigger. It's literally just simply a trigger box that you enter and exit. There is a spline for the camera that the camera follows along, and we can go into the options in this minute. But if you don't want any movement spline attached to the camera spline, you can do that as well. So this trigger right here that you saw a second ago, this is a camera spline with no movement attached to it. And to answer your question, Azurio, yes, the grind rails do have their own camera splines. So the grind rails now have their own cameras. The movement graph, or the movement splines have their own cameras. And the trigger boxes, like the basic trigger boxes, have their own cameras.
Yeah, and that was the one that pushes you along automatically. It's purple, just to show it off.
Yeah, so if I flew inside here
Try to shoot you.
and I entered, it would just pull me along. Like, I have no control. I can spin, and I could probably jump as well, but outside of that, that's what I could do.
Yeah, it also automatically sets your direction, so that's stuff you can change.
Yep. To go over more details with this here, this camera spline is its own actor. Like, just expand what I said before. We're going to combine it with this one here, like the dynamic camera. We have the dynamic camera actor, and we have a spline camera actor. We're going to combine them into one because we feel it's kind of redundant to have two separate actors for sole purpose camera. So we're going to combine them into one, and we're going to simply have a toggleable option that says, do you want to use the spline? Yes. If so, the camera will move along the spline based on the setting you tell it to. If you say no, it will simply use the default camera position that you give it. But this also has an option to lock onto the player instead of the look-at point. Probably noticed earlier that whenever I walked into this trigger box that the camera was not looking at Sonic. Sonic was never at the center of the screen. The camera was actually always looking at this point right here. If I hit play and enter, the camera will now change, and now it's going to try and keep Sonic at the center. The camera's always going to look at Sonic. Like so. But if I changed it to point instead of look at player, it will try and look at that vector. So as you can see, Sonic is clearly not in the center of the screen. So, in terms of camera spline stuff, that's pretty much it. Isn't really a whole lot of anything else.
Yeah, there's options, but I'll probably go over them later because I won't say they're complex, but it's like they're very nuanced. Like they're first very small things you want to change around.
You can move the camera, like I showed earlier. You can move the camera.
That is optional, by the way.
Yeah, movement camera is optional, and technically there's three options. No movement at all, or movement where you rotate the camera, and there's also an option where movement will shift the camera. So if I jump into this cannon, and I move the camera, you can see the camera doesn't rotate, it simply just shifts its location.
Yeah, and you can play around with the speed. The distance slash rotation limits how quickly it tries to recenter because you can't have the camera slowly recenter itself.
Yeah. So if I ran into here, and then I move the camera, and then I let go, it'll just automatically recenter itself. Probably should do that after a set amount of time.
Oh yeah, you can change that too. There's a delay you can have that's optional.
Yeah, that delay should probably be a little bit higher by default, but that's fine. That's just changing default values. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the camera outside of Reese added a new function. This is specifically for a controller, so we don't have proper keyboard and mouse actions set up for it yet. But as you just saw, the camera zoomed into Sonic right there when I stopped moving. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. That was automatic. If I start running, the camera's going to automatically pull away from Sonic. If I stop after a second, it's going to pull back in. So an automatic pull in and pull out camera.
Yeah. Dynamic zooming.
Yeah, dynamic zooming based on your movement. Like I said a second ago, this was designed for controllers, so all the manual zoom in, zoom out functionality of keyboard and mouse currently are inoperable. Like I can try and zoom in, but then the camera will automatically zoom itself out. And then if I stop moving and it zooms in, if I attempt to zoom out, it will just zoom back in. Zoom out.
There's no escape.
Back in. There's no escape. So it's still in early development, like we kind of just figured it yesterday. The drift also functions properly now. Like it's got a much sharper turn rate to it. Apparently we were not using variables that we were supposed to be. So in general, it's just more functional. Obviously, if you combine it with the camera movement on keyboard and mouse, you can do some really sharp turns and essentially have little to no moment. So you can keep almost all of your speed while still turning however you want. The values are going to be changed for controller. That way you don't have to be so dependent on the camera with controller. It can be just a lot more. I think the turn rate's probably just going to be sharper. That way you don't have to worry about moving the camera.
I don't know if I already implement, but also I think it does automatically turn the camera if you use the controller, but I have to double check that.
A little particle plays now whenever you're capable of boosting, so if I drift and then let go before the little particle plays, I'm not going to get the little boost, but if I drift and then let the particle play, I'll get a little boost. And whenever combined with actual boosting, I can essentially do like a 360 turnaround and essentially lose absolutely no speed because of how tight the drift has gotten. And whenever I combine it with the drift boost and the actual boost, I essentially just turn 360 degrees in a very short period of time within a short distance and lose no speed at all.
Yeah.
If anything, it gains speed.
Yeah, it's not the biggest difference in the world, compared to say like
pivot drift or the pivot.
Yeah, the pivot drift, or compared to even like boosting in other drifting in other boost games, because your turning speed was like dog crap, without it. But you know, just that extra bit of flair, and obviously you can tweak the value, but it's here.
So, is Infinity just better without boost? I mean, I think at the moment the boost is less of a core mechanic and more of a complementary mechanic, which is how all the other abilities are. Like all of the other abilities, like the stomp, bounce, quick step, drift, wall jump, those are complementary movement mechanics. I think the boost has went from a primary mechanic to a complementary mechanic, simply because it still interacts with a lot of things, and you can get a lot of benefit from using the boost in a lot of situations. And the boost can benefit from a lot of other things as well. But it's not mandatory. Like, you can still do a lot of these things without the boost. And they can still be pretty fun without the boost as well. So the boost, to me, because I enjoy the boost, I think the boost is a very interesting mechanic. To me, the boost simply makes things better. But to people who don't like the boost, I think everything is equally as good, even without the boost involved. So, to me, I think the boost has gone from a primary mechanic to a complementary mechanic.
Yeah, also it's partially toned down because we added other characters, and the boost as it was in other... And like, if you took literally Unleashed boost and put on Sonic in this game, he would just be the best character.
Yeah. Although I think our boost is better than Unleashed.
When I say boost, when I say better, I mean like function, like balance wise. Like if we're making a fighting game,
probably.
like I don't mean like how good it feels or how well it does. I mean like literally which one is the most powerful one that will get you just results.
What happened to the move that involves the kick that was exclusive to Sonic? You mean the windmill kick?
There's a number of moves. He could either be talking about that. He could be talking about the dodge move. He could be talking about the pivot drift. He could be talking about the what's the move that we cut out? The
pivot drift's no longer a thing.
No, it's still a thing.
No, I tried crouching while drifting. It didn't do it.
I think you have to right click now.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what I changed it to. I could honestly change that back. I don't even remember when I did that.
Let's not do the mouse, because that's the roll button, and that can just confuse me.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the crouch button than the roll button.
Yeah, that makes sense. He could be talking. What's the name? The mock. You know, like this. How you described when we first added, kind of like a spin dash, but on crack and with mock boost.
You're talking about Sonic Boom?
Yeah, the Sonic Boom.
It's not a kick move.
Well, he said trick.
No, he said kick. Oh,
what
he did say trick.
That involved the trick that was exclusive.
Yeah, you're right. He said trick. I am dyslexic. Okay, you're not.
It's fine. I understand.
You're a butt. That's what I think.
Oh, wait, can you spell that?
Oh, he's in a vehicle.
Fizz, you didn't mean that. You're dyslexic. You meant handsome face.
Verbal dyslexia. I'm sorry. I meant a beautiful person.
Bro. He can also wall fly. I'm not sure that you would consider that a trick. Also, all speed characters can mostly do the same things. There's very few differences.
Will the Sonic Boom re-added? Probably. I want to re-add the Sonic Boom. It will just take a little bit of reworking.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten around to it because it has been a priority, and we also want to make sure it meshes well with the rest of like other characters. So we want to make sure that Sonic exclusive has the Sonic Boom, which means that other characters have to have. Well, don't have to, but we would like them to have something that's equivalent or like something that makes them special.
Sonic would probably have the Sonic Boom. Obviously, we would give Shadow his Chaos Spear abilities, probably. I know we were thinking about giving Blaze the ability to shoot a fireball. Metal Sonic is supposed to have the Black Mirror, I believe.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Like one singular ability that's unique to each character, rather than a whole assortment of abilities, you know?
Yeah, and plus tweaks and bobs and minor things. Like, the issue is not that we don't like making the characters unique, it's just that it takes time, and we have to control ourselves.
Well, that and the Sonic Boom wasn't really meant to be a mainstay ability. I came up with the idea as a joke. Like, I thought it was cool in theory, but especially after seeing it in practice, I'm like, no, this is just a gimmick move. Like, there's no real functionality to this move. It's purely a gimmick.
It was really fun to make, though.
Moves like a fireball or the Black Mirror or Chaos Spear, those can have actual functionality. Like, and we still plan on adding it, but the Sonic Boom is not really a functional ability. But it's still fun. Like, I enjoy it. I thought it was a really cool idea. Just, it was one of those things where I'm like, what if we just did this? Like, we took a concept and we expanded on it, and then we used it. And even if it doesn't work, it was still an interesting idea. Because you're right, my original idea was like, what if we had a spin dash equivalent for the boost? Was my original idea. The idea
on crack cocaine.
Yeah, on crack. Was you crouch and you jump to do a spin dash. So what happens if you crouched and boosted? And that's where the Sonic Boom came from.
Yeah, you could think that kind of like, if we implement it, will probably be something equivalent of kind of like a special move specifically for him. And we would like to maybe add in other special moves for other characters. Not the most useful moves all the time, but they're neat.
Sonic Boom would be useful for open world only. Yeah, that's basically what it would be. If we toned it down a little bit, like if we reduced some of its functionality, what we could probably end up doing is make it so that the Sonic Boom could be an interesting way to get immediate speed in a straightaway. Like if you want insane immediate speed in a very straight area, or if what we could also do, and just to help it tie into other things, maybe a Sonic Boom could sacrifice a lot of boost energy, but still like bump you up to Mach level 3 really quickly, you know?
Yeah, you can even just make so that it uses all your boost, but you can maybe like, I don't know, make it last so much longer that it would be worth it as long as you just don't need the boost for anything else. Or don't plan to turn anywhere because maybe the turning rate speed is so bad that you're going to go straight, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, there's some things we could do to tweak the sonic boom to make it better and more functional. But at the end of the day, I think conceptually speaking, unless we changed what it's meant to be entirely from the ground up, it's going to stay as a gimmick move.
Yeah. Oh, there's also the spin drift or whatever you want to call it.
You mean the
No, the other one that's in the game right now.
spin drift? Oh yeah, the spin drift.
Yeah, that one's also unique to Sonic. Like, actually is unique to Sonic.
I mean, I can see other speed characters using it. I don't necessarily think it has to be unique to Sonic.
Yeah, I'm just saying currently is because, like, I'm still trying to interpret what the question was, and I figured he just meant something that currently is unique to Sonic, but I don't know.
But the pivot drift is still in the game. But it's kind of poopy.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad. It's that, like, it's very marginal how much it actually helps you.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to make a 90-degree turn no matter what, I mean, that's the thing.
Spin drift would be cool for real tight turns. Yeah, the idea of the spin drift is allowing you to get some tight turns while in a rolling state without losing speed. Like, if I want to get this tight turn, but I don't want to lose speed, I would use a spin drift. Because if I try to turn, I am going to lose quite a bit of speed, because the more you turn while rolling, the more speed you lose. So
Yeah.
you can see I lost a lot of speed really quick. But by using the spin drift, I'm basically able to make a 360 and lose little to no speed. You do lose speed while spin drifting, but it's a very, very small loss.
Yeah, it's more so that as you spin drift, like you slow down as you spin drifting, but it stores the speed you were at previously.
It does technically, if I remember right, it does allow you to roll infinitely, because if you get below a certain speed, it will always add an additional speed to you.
Well, yeah, like there's a minimum speed it will boost you, but it's not very significant. And since it uses energy, it's not, that's not the main purpose.
Yeah, it is a way of infinitely spinning or rolling on flat ground, but it's not ideal.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, by the way. It was kind of cool going over these abilities we don't talk about anymore.
Yeah. It's old news.
Everyone cares now about, what do we care about? Spline Cameras? Yeah, Spline Cameras. That's all we care about.
What do we care about?
The only other thing we really worked on, Ezreal, that you missed was I cleaned up code. That's about it. Reese imported animations for the new mesh.
Yep.
That's about it. I
took out a mortgage on my house. I'm kidding.
I miss my white tails.
Is there a lot? I'll be back.
I'll be back.
We do have a new issue that we got to solve, though. We have to figure out if Knuckles really needs Sonic's power.
Yeah.
It's a variable. Don't worry, it's a variable now.
It's a variable now. Does Knuckles need power?
You have to charge him.
Do I look like I need your power?
Battery low. Oh shit, give it back.
Do I look like I need your opinion?
Do I look like I need your opinion?
Not until you download.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, not until you download Twitter, will you?
Is this the Jizz models now? The Gens model now? No, it's not the Gens
The
model.
Jizz model.
It's not the Jizz model either. It's not. It's not the Sook.
The
Sook.
The new model is Jen's model.
The new model is Jen's model, not the one we're using now, though. This is still old model.
Yeah.
We're probably going to scale up the Jin's model a bit, just so it's not so jarring when we switch over and Sonic's like small.
No, probably not. The Jizz model. The Jen's model as we have it right now is scaled to Sonic's canonical height, according to Unreal Engine measure. The Sonic model that we've been using this whole time is, well, he's like, if I had to guess, he's probably like 5-ish, 3 foot. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Sonic's actually 3'3", so we're going to shrink him down
by 2 inches.
Well, and it's not super jarring. Like, if anything, Sonic is the most jarring character, because I think, if I remember right, I don't know about Shadow, but I know Silver, Blaze, at least I think Silver and Blaze and Metal Sonic are, but I know for a fact that Tails and Knuckles are their proper height. Like, Tails and Knuckles are their proper canonical height. I'm pretty sure Blaze, Silver, and Metal are their canonical height. I don't know about Shadow. Reese, do you know if Shadow's his proper height? Like the model we're currently using?
Well, he's meant to be the exact same height as Sonic.
Yeah, so his in-game model might be scaled improperly. Might have to scale. But
yeah,
if you swap from Sonic to Tails, you can see just how jarring it is. Because look how tiny Tails is as compared. If I hop over here, Tails is pretty small. And he's meant to be small, but not quite this small.
You switch over to Knuckles, and he's shorter than Sonic too.
Yeah,
although I think the models do get scaled. I think we do add a modifier such the models just get bigger also when you play as them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, this sample model right here, like this displayed sample model, like you can see it actually scale up slightly. Like if I stand next to it and then I walk into the trigger, you can see Tails actually grow slightly. I like.
It's so noticeable.
I don't know why. We don't know why, but
I think that's something we just
slightly.
What up?
It's Tails' model. Technically, all of the models in this area, or in the swapper here, scale.
Yeah.
And proper, like, I don't know if they scale properly, but whatever. Like their display model is their proper height, but whenever they spawn in, they grow slightly.
Yeah. I think it's something we just kept in because I think there's technically a modifier from Oban's code, and we didn't feel like getting rid of it. Which we could get rid of, it's just that we'll have to just make sure we don't mess anything up.
And now it's time to listen to a true bop.
Chill.
It's time to proper bop music is what it is. It's chill music.
Lo-fi.
This is some lo-fi music right here. Hell yeah. Shit.
So anyway, Ezreal, to answer your question, my ears are bleeding.
I do have to apologize for this, chat, because I'm not punishing you. This isn't your fault.
It's
Emmanuel's fault.
Oh my god, I replaced the song, you put it back in!
I love how we both just go straight there. It's Emmanuel's fault.
And this is 100% Emmanuel's fault. He's the one that added this song into the engine without any of us knowing. And he's the one that played it, so now this is his fault.
I added the song re-suggested at
I did not suggest the pinball music.
No, you suggested the Frontiers music that I put in as reconciliation or whatever you call that.
Alright, I'm gonna turn it off.
Please. Please.
It's audio. Now this is the actual music. This is a remix. This is not going to be included in the 1.0 release.
Yeah, unless Teenage Games really decides to or something. I don't know.
Unless they want us to include it.
It's just here for us while we're busy working on stuff, so we've got a tune to listen to.
I'm the guy who
adds the new Sonic Frontiers.
You want to segue into Sonic Frontiers now?
I mean, we don't have anything else to talk about.
Shit, you're right. You know, fuck this project. Let's play Sonic Frontiers instead.
Let's just go play Sonic Frontiers right now. Just pulls up Big Adventure.
Honestly, as much as I give you crap for liking that fan game, it is when you think of it, it's not too far removed from what Frontiers would be.
What fan game?
No, Big's Big Adventure is
Big's Big Adventure.
a great.
It is
game.
Amazing. It's really good.
Unironically, it's a good fan game. To answer a question Ezreal asked earlier, does Shadow do a Chaos Control when he quick steps? I don't think he does.
He does.
I tried fixing it, yeah.
No, I
He
added
does
in.
do the effect now.
Yeah.
All right, well, looks like we're going to find out the answer together, because we're getting some conflicting answers.
I put it, I literally put that stuff inside of his body.
Inject him with Chaos Control.
Injecting Chaos.
General Bobby was like, this is good shit.
This theme is from Frontiers, the Frontiers trailer. It's a remix.
From Teenage Games.
Okay, it looks like he does teleport.
Yeah, because I added in when I added in that little homing attack dodge thing you can do now.
Oh yeah.
You have to be homing attack.
Alright, well thank you, Soundbite Void.
Alright, thank you.
I don't know where the Marines are.
This remix fits Shadow really well, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I did increase the pitch a bit also, personally, because I just liked it pitched up slightly, so if you pitch it back down, you know. But you were right.
Because you like tormenting everybody. I'm gonna turn you off though.
Well, he did confirm it here, guys.
This is maybe slightly unrelated, but you saw the video I posted of like the Japanese video.
Yes,
I already saw it.
You've seen the Japanese footage. It was all over the place.
Yeah, it's actually continue.
Like 2 hours after the trailer had been released, everyone's like, the Japanese trailer got more, and it was like shared everywhere. Japanese trailer had more footage in it.
Well, what I like from it
also,
also.
Sorry.
I was going to say what I want to bring up about it. So I actually like the theme they use in that. I assume that's going to be like the menu theme or something.
Probably.
Well, it could be the world theme.
Like, it got shared so much it became a meme that someone edited it to just like, they like put us on Twitter like, oh, the Japanese trailer had so much more footage in it, and it was just Breath of the Wild. Like that's how much attention the extra footage got. So yes, we've seen the extra footage.
Like, do you remember the way?
Now all we need to do is add the coolest. Every time Shadow does something like, I'm the coolest.
I think I have that voice line somewhere on my computer.
Shadow like grabs your ring. I'm the coolest.
I think they're going to nerf Sonic Speed in Frontiers. Maybe it depends on like how they do it, because I mean he may go back to like his adventure speed. I imagine, although it's not boosting speed, and the boost tiles wasn't exactly the highest either.
Are we discussing Frontiers now? Have we moved on to discuss Frontiers?
Looks like it.
Josh.
How long before we get a Frontiers fan game?
We already have them.
It's called Big's Big. I just hope it's a good game, but what the game director is?
He's saying he wants it to be good, but he's not sure about the game director, which is the person who worked on like the last few Sonic games.
Yeah.
No, there's another guy. Forgot the name.
I thought Zuka was the director.
I think it's Zuka. I don't know. Zuka and like it's like the guy like I don't know. There's a guy who's like the actual director who directed the other Sonic game.
Yeah. Zuka. Zuka has been head of Sonic team since Adventure? Was it?
I think.
Yeah, he's been like the director of a lot of Sonic games since Sonic Adventure.
I thought he was only head after oh my god, I forgot his name.
Derek.
Yeah, after Derek left. No,
Yuji Naka.
Yuji Naka after he left.
Yuji Naka did Adventure 1 and 2, didn't he?
Yeah, he did Adventure 1 and 2.
Shadow where he left?
No, he left during 06.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it, yeah. 06, he just was like,
he left in the
I'm
middle
out.
of 06's development.
He's like, I'm out, bye.
He's like, I'm outie.
Let me go and make a character with a hat.
Well, first he made it
good at least. That's true. The story is being spearheaded by Ian Flynn, so
that's what most.
I love it how we're all going to be like, story is going to be good though.
Okay,
like, it will be.
I don't know if the story is going to be good, but I will firmly.
It'll be better.
I'm going to.
I don't know why that was funny.
I'm going to firmly say that the story, at the very, very least, is going to be competent. Like, it's just going to be a competent story.
It's going to be at least...
Even if it's not enjoyable, it will at the very least be a functioning, competent story with proper character interactions and shit like that.
And Amy is dead.
And Amy is dead, so... No, I'm kidding.
It's going to be at least at Unleashed levels, I feel.
Yeah. With Ian Flynn spearheading it, I am hopeful. I hope it'll be great, but I know at the very least it's going to be competent, because the other guys did not make a competent Sonic story.
Baldy McNose.
Swear to God, Emmanuel, if you say that in my presence, I will delete your code.
Bounce pad.
I don't know who the director is. All I do know is the not a supervisor, the
soup.
Not the supervisor, the producer. The producer is the guy who did the art direction for Unleashed. Like, the guy who is producing Frontiers was the art director for Sonic Unleashed, which is probably why Frontiers looks the way it does.
Where's that guy? The guy that got hired?
Yeah, the Sega hired this man.
Where's the man at? I want to know that too. Where is the man?
We may have to explain that joke to some people.
No, I think everybody gets the hire this man joke. There was a
Sega
whole song and dance about it.
Sonic Team at least has some background with open world. Do they? Has Sonic Team worked on an open world game before?
Has Sonic Team worked on a game that's not Sonic?
Yes.
What?
Haven't they worked on the MMO?
Phantasy
I
Star?
forget what it's called. Yeah, didn't they work on that? Because that's open world.
I thought that was just a different team from Sega. I didn't know that.
That was also like 20 years ago, so that probably barely applies now.
Well, there was a new one recently, wasn't there?
No,
Not the one that got re-released, but there was a new one.
I think Phantasy Star was kind of new. I don't know.
No, that's the second one, but that came out technically like almost 10 years ago.
The man who saved Sega. They did Phantasy Star? Okay.
Oh.
Well, still, most of their repertoire is not open world. And simply because they've worked on open world does not mean that they can translate Sonic to open world. If there is a team to do it, if there is a team that could translate Sonic to open world,
it's Nintendo.
It's Nintendo, not Sonic Team, but, you know, they could still give it a good try.
I mean, technically, has Nintendo made an open world game before Breath of the Wild, really?
Technically, Xenoblade Chronicles X was the inspiration for Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Like, Xenoblade Chronicles X, that was the inspiration for Breath of the Wild being open world. So, Xenoblade is
here's
really
the thing.
The original.
This shit, oh my god, if they hired or like had people from, is it Monolith Soft?
Yeah.
Work on this open world, I would be all for it. I'd be like, yep. Alright, guys, game of the year, let's go.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Monolith Soft.
Monolith Soft.
They're the one that did Xenoblade. Although I'm pretty sure Nintendo owns a majority stake in Monolith Soft, so
they do.
I don't know if Sega would even be able to actually.
I know. It's like if they were able to, if it was a Monolith Soft open world Sonic game.
What Momentum based games has Nintendo done though? I mean, Mario Odyssey. When you think about it, Mario can roll.
I'm pretty sure they got Mario Kishimoto as the director. Mario Kishimoto as the director. I learned this from Tales Channel. That could be the case. So I don't know what
Izuku's probably still involved, but I think like he's the head honcho, but he's not a director. He's something different that's more important, but yet less involved.
The cats are fighting.
So I imagine what will happen is that he's involved enough to say, "I really want Wisp in the game," but he's not actually the director, because I think that's his level of involvement. It's like, I want Wisp, and that's it. He just leaves.
No wisps. I'm out.
I'm outie.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good time.
Most of the fan base of Izuka leaves. Bye.
He's probably working on stuff like Sonic Origins and a couple of other external things. If I had to guess, he's probably also busy with the Sonic movie as well. Like, at least that's what he has been busy with. Because if I had to guess, like, Sonic Team has probably been the section of Sega that's been working with Paramount on that. Like, there's other things Izuka's probably been busy with. Who knows?
Who said the game would have momentum?
Yeah, that's technically true. Who said the game's going to have momentum?
Is it just going to be like literally like that open world fan game where like you come to a stop immediately?
That's literally what that you know, the Sega hire this man joke. Like,
yeah, that's what
That's where that's literally what that is. It's starting to stop. No momentum, no acceleration, no deceleration, just start and stop. It's beautiful.
There's no sauce.
Where's the sauce manual?
You move around as if you're playing Sonic Chronicles.
Cyber Wisp confirmed. I mean, technically that is what it's supposed to be, like cyber space.
Oh my god, Wisps put in cyberspace. We've got new ones.
I think Wisp would work in an open world zone. I mean, yeah, they could work. I think Wisps could definitely work in an open world section. You would probably have to alter slightly how some of the Wisps function, and you would also have to be like a god tier game designer to really allow the Wisps to function to their like at their peak capacity in an open world, but it is possible.
That's yeah, like, unfortunately, we're not working on a project, so you know.
That's beyond my capabilities. I know for a fact I couldn't design the world like that. It would be interesting to see something like that function. I don't believe we're gonna be getting the Wisps in this one. If they do, it would be interesting. I would like to see how they're implemented, but I don't necessarily think we're going to be getting any Wisps in Frontier personally. Do you guys
half the fan base breathe a sigh of relief, unfortunately, or fortunately.
You are kidding me.
I know, Reese. No Wisps. I'm sorry.
I know, no Wisps. You are kidding me.
Personally, I'm fine with that. Like, I know me and Fizz kind of differ on like how much we like the Wisp. Personally, I would say I never liked the Wisp, but I always felt like they just shoehorned them in after colors because it's like, okay, cool colors. These are kind of cool, cool, even though you know they could be a bit gimmicky. You know, it's all right. They could show up in Lost World. I'm like, oh no.
The way I always saw it is when they were presented in colors, regardless of the story, regardless of what the story says, like they always advertise the Wisps as being Sonic's version of power-ups, which to me meant that they were going to be staying. I'm like, oh, this is Sonic's versions of power-ups. This is basically the Sonic equivalent to Mario of power-ups. That's what I saw this as the Wisps. So regardless of what the story said, I always saw the Wisps as something that was coming back because that's what they advertised it as. They were like, hey, this is Sonic's version of power-ups now. And I'm like, okay. As long as like you make them slightly less gimmicky than what they were in Sonic Colors, I'm totally okay with that. And they had some success a little bit, but not really. So to me, I didn't have a problem with Wisps coming back because I always figured they were just coming back. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, like I said, like it also like given the fact that like I had fun implementing the Wisp into I+ with you. Like I wouldn't say like I kind of did come around a bit, but like I still feel it. Like when it comes to actual games, I still feel like how I feel. But in terms of like their potential, well, yeah, I think it'd be a mainstay. Just maybe not with Sega Team, maybe Sonic Team. My bad. Comments.
Sega Team.
Yeah, they need to fire Suki. He has really lost his touch. I don't know about that one. Maybe.
I feel like he still probably does a lot of things that are important. Just that like he just says some things that people don't agree with, or like you know, also the games.
But that's just how it's always going to be. The directors of things are always going to say things that people don't agree with. Like, for example, Nintendo. Nintendo's like, oh, any third-party Mario game are not allowed to introduce any new characters, despite the fact that third-party Mario games were the best at introducing new characters and shit like that. Like, developers are always going to say things that fans disagree. That's not going to immediately make the franchise bad, you know.
Frontiers looks empty and boring. Well, I didn't see any objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't see any rings, but I imagine they just didn't. They either got rid of them when they were showed it off, or they because we didn't see any moving. Like we didn't see any like quote unquote game objects or entities or anything. We just saw the world. We just saw structures. Yeah. I imagine the game will be populated. Hopefully, they just removed it for either because they're not done, they didn't want to show it. You know, number of reasons why. Because they're easy enough to get rid of. Because
I'm on the opposite side where it's like, why would they remove?
Well, like,
wouldn't you want to show the best of the product?
Well, not necessarily. If it's not ready, then you wouldn't want to show anything at all, especially if the footage that they collected is old. Like maybe they're too busy developing things to produce a new trailer, so they just showcase what they were capable of. But in doing so, they had to get rid of or hide a lot of the stuff that wasn't ready to be shown. And to me, again, I discussed this with you recently, Reese. I didn't discuss it with Emmanuel though. With open world games, 9 times out of 10, especially if like we're in the beginning stages of advertisement, which we are, we're in the very early stages of advertisement for this. For open world games, 9 times out of 10, developers always just focus on the terrain in the world. They always talk about how big the world is, how expansive it is, how beautiful it looks, and all this stuff. They don't ever talk about anything else during the beginning parts of advertisement. They're always like, oh, look how beautifully large and amazing this game is. So if I had to guess, they were probably completely okay with hiding shit because that wasn't the point of the trailer. They just wanted to showcase, hey, it's an open world Sonic game. They didn't have anything else to show, more than likely.
Yeah, because then they go, oh, it's an open world Sonic game with enemies. It's like, yeah, no shit. We knew it was going to have enemies.
I would hope it had enemies, you know.
It's a pacifist game. It's about you go to an enemy, just all you do is like play music.
I
Hopefully
think
it turns around.
You just what? Sonic Underground them. Play music.
I think if there is going to be like rings or other stage objects, they will be introduced into footage in the future. I don't think that it's necessarily going to be right away. Or like what Reese is saying, I think that this is technically like equally as plausible. There's just not going to be rings. There's not going to be the traditional Sonic stage objects. They could be going for something entirely new here. And the reason they've not shown anything off is because what they have ready to show off isn't, or what they want to show off isn't ready, or they're going for something entirely different. So we have yet to see. I think it's way too early to be like, oh, it looks boring. It's world empty. It looks boring. I'm like, we've seen one trailer. We've seen nothing about this game. We don't know anything about this game besides what the world looks like and a brief synopsis of it. That's all we know. Like, we can base things off the leaks that we've gotten, and the leaks so far have been pretty accurate. But the leaks don't go into a whole lot of detail other than the basic outline of the game, which the official synopsis given out is pretty much everything we already knew in the leaks. There wasn't really any new information gained. The only thing we gained in this trailer is the fact that the leaks were probably true. What we knew before the trailer and what we knew after the trailer hasn't changed when you really think about it. All we do know
now we have
is
visuals attached to it.
Yeah, we just have visuals attached to it. That's all we really have. So saying like, oh, this game is boring, there's no stage, I'm like, well, you don't know that yet. We don't know anything about this game. That's how I personally see it.
Yeah, I mean, I do, going off of, like, I want to catch up with the chat a bit. Like, going off of what he said, kind of like it being showcased at like 30 FPS and the fact that like he's saying it's not ready. Like, to be fair, it is a year from like when it's being released, which ideally you want to have things a bit more solidified than what they seem like they are. Who knows? Like, because this way I see it, they weren't working on the game for 4 years straight. That's rarely do games have like that long a development cycle without some sort of hell at some point. Like, you can have a vision, but usually if it takes more than 2 years to make something, like there's something you had to do or change or there was some sort of hell. I think that happened, honestly. Like, I think they had to do some iterations, some engine swaps. There may be a new engine for all we know. We don't know yet. Something probably changed big, other than the formula, which is it being open world. And like it took them some time to get that right. And now they're like, okay, we have a timetable. We should be able to get this done by 2022. Let's start marketing. You know, doesn't mean they're done with everything, even though they should be a bit more done than we likely would like them to be. But they're probably going to crunch also.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Real question is, will Frontiers be more fun than Infinity? I hope so. I hope it's more fun than. There's also like, keep in mind. Let's see here. It was September that Colors Ultimate was released, or was it August? I don't remember.
September.
I think it was okay. It was September, but Sonic Colors Ultimate was announced earlier this year, wasn't it?
It was announced in like the same time that Sonic Frontiers was teased.
Yeah. Which was that? I don't remember what it was. Hold on. Do you remember
That was over the
Reese?
summer. I'm pretty sure.
Reese? Oh, he might be busy.
I'm pretty sure that was over the summer.
Yeah.
I realized I was muted. I was busy talking.
Oh.
I was saying it was during Sonic Central is when we learned about it.
Which was this year, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I believe so, yes.
Yes, okay. So we learned about Sonic Colors Ultimate this year, and it released this year. The footage, the very first bit of footage we got from Sonic Colors Ultimate was old. Like, it was pretty old. The game looked quite a bit different from its original footage that we first saw when it released. Like, when it released, obviously there were still issues. There were some bugs that were still present in the game that were also present in the trailer. But overall, the game did look quite a bit different. So it's not uncommon for Sonic games, their very first trailer, to have footage from much older builds than the build that we're going to be getting. Like, I mean, that's just common in all games in general. So
yeah, they don't do what we do, where we just show you like straight up, like fresh out of the oven.
We show you things live. Like, you guys, whenever we showcase things, like Emmanuel's right. Whenever we showcase things, we just did that like last week, or we just did that 2 days ago or today or something like that. Other game developers, they quite often when they make trailers, they're using footage that's like old. It's like months old. So what we see in the trailer is obviously not the state that the game is in. On occasion, they do, like, some developers do present trailers like hot off the press of their most recent builds and stuff like that. That does happen, but quite often it can be kind of difficult to tell, especially if it's like, you know, something that's brand new and you've never seen before. Did you guys ever rebrand the project? Yes, we have. Internally, we have. Not externally. We haven't announced what the answer is. We are working on that. We do actually have news on that. We're not going to go in. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on the whole rebranding, but we do have a logo and an aesthetic in development as we speak right now. We are working with someone on it, but we're not going to tell you who it is. We will share more information when we are ready to actually announce the rebranded name and the new aesthetic and all that stuff.
Yeah, Vin Diesel does want to talk. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Emmanuel.
It's all about family.
It's all about family, Tom. You guys plan to do anything with the framework when it's done? We have the Plus Pack characters to release still. So once after we release 1.0, we're going to be releasing 3 more characters that as like downloadable packages that you can add to your they're basically add-ons you can add to your project. So Honey, Mighty, and a community voted character. When that's all done, no. Once these are done, I have no plans on developing anymore in terms of like the actual project. I might make a level or 2 in the framework, like in my spare time or whatever, but I'm going to be moving on to it.
I mean, yeah, I'll still be active in the community. I mean, I wouldn't mind helping with things also.
Yeah, we'll still be active in the community. Like, I'm not going to just community.
I have like ideas for other things I want to do.
Bye, have a great time.
Reese is like, bye, have a great time. I'm done with you Americans.
Yep.
Sorry for the tea.
I hope the secret character is Mario. Yep, the final secret character is Mario. We're gonna be
technically,
Mario.
if we were to release one last thing, it could be something that would get us like, well, like cease and desist, but it won't matter at that point.
He's like, haha, it's done, bitch.
Mario's in the game. He's the shittiest character, also.
Something like Watch Dogs did with the ED Train, the final project. Yeah. I love how if you're not a Sonic fan, you're excited, and the Sonic fans are skeptical. I mean, I'm excited for Frontiers, but I am skeptical. But I'm always skeptical. Just a skeptical individual.
Yeah, we've grown old and crusty, so we're just skeptical of all things.
Which you did.
I'm still believing in Sonic Azuri.
I will say one idea I did have, like I imagine this could be done. It could be done on anything, but I could see it being done in like Infinity Plus. I told you about it already. Like actually, I think you also had the idea too. Like the IDW comics, like gamifying them. Like,
I
that could
know,
be kind of a cool project someone could do.
I know Reese said he would like to do that.
Like, I would
Mid.
like, that would be cool, but, like, it's more work, and I would rather be like, "Yeah, I'll help someone else do it." Kind of
um,
like 2 other games I wanna work on at some point, and, like, I don't wanna exactly add that right now, but I would definitely be willing to help a lot with someone with that because it sounds fun.
I have 3 levels I would like to make in Infinity Engine Plus at some point. Um, there is Eggman Land, which someone asked me to make Eggman Land. So
Ollie.
I might do that.
Ollie.
Did Obama ask you? I bet it was Obama.
I don't remember who it was that asked me. Someone asked me to make Eggman Land, and I'm like, you know what? Just to
It was
say
Derek.
fuck all of you, yes, I will make Eggman Land. So, oh, there's a 4th one. I forgot. Rooftop Run. I would like to actually make an actual Rooftop Run port. Plus, I think that'd be really fun. The other one, I still want to make Glass Castle. I think Glass Castle would be an interesting, unique level to make.
Oh, I remember Glass Castle.
Glass Castle would be fun. And then there's another one. I don't have an official name for it yet, but I've threatened to make a Kaizo level multiple times, just to showcase how evil I really can be.
Remake the Frontiers trailer, XD.
Remake the Frontiers trailer.
We'll
You know, to be honest, as a joke, I was doing that the other day.
I noticed that the water, the shoreline looked different. Like there's puddles and stuff, and it looks kind of like
looks like a bog, or
kind of like what was in.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the main bit. I actually made a new project, and I was just going to download some like generic, you know, like realistic terrain, and just plop Sonic in and be like, guys, look, Sonic Frontiers.
Hey Fizz, if you make Eggman Land, I'll help you make the bobsled and make it shit. I mean,
if I did Eggman Land, it'll be an Eggman Land themed level. Like it's not gonna be Eggman Land straight from Sonic Unleashed. It'll be Eggman Land themed.
Adds in bobsled regardless.
Adds in Werehog.
Adds in Werehog. We just create the Werehog.
Fizz, I got you. Porch Knuckles.
Porch Knuckles. You guys should get a few creators when the project's done to build a few stages about the project name level collection.
Where are those guys?
We could probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to step on Noto's toes. Noto already has the stage collection thing going on. I'd rather not step on Noto's toes.
That's fair. Well, also like the thing is that we can't like just grab, like people have to like be willing to do that. We can't just grab people and say, "Hey, make stuff for engine."
Like we can't just go to like, for example, Tiger and be like, "Tiger, make stuff for us." Like we can't just do that. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Do it. We'll give you a cookie.
I mean, like we know Noto. Noto's a pal.
Noto's chill.
I would consider Noto to be a compadre of the team.
Would you consider Noto somebody to get a drink with?
A fellow associate. I don't know.
Actually, I probably could. I forgot that like we go to the same school. Shit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you do go to the same school as Noto, don't you?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that, honestly. Like, I could probably meet him in real life and, steal his code. I mean, not steal his code, yeah. Just go up to his PC and steal it. Guys, I got it! Conilla Cave!
If you made a post on Discord, a few people would volunteer. Yeah, I'm sure we could get help working on some stuff if we requested it of people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, because, like, we did request help with, like, some things, but that was, like, for instance, the animation stuff, that's a bit more specific. If it's just, like, make a level, for some people could do that. No.
Anyway, yeah. Once Infinity Plus is done, I think I'm gonna. I'll still work on game related stuff on the background, but I'm definitely gonna be moving on to my own original stuff. I've put Project Kitten on the back burner for way too long.
Yeah, it's kind of getting burnt.
And my own project too.
Yeah, Project Kitten is starting to burn a little bit. I have considered wanting to help you with your project, Reese. have me on it.
You already asked and I said yeah.
Yeah, I'll help too. Although it'll probably just be a bobsled. I mean,
You, Emmanuel. I don't want Emmanuel on my team.
Reese, we add like you set up your repo and stuff, and you get me and Emmanuel added, and the very next day you get on it, and there's just fucking Tails Meg.
Tails making a bobsled.
Tails making a bobsled.
And that's it. I never work on it ever again.
Emmanuel doesn't do anything else. It's just that.
You just leave a little sign, say "See ya."
He has,
Sayonara.
It's like I've had to put up with your Britishness for too long.
He puts in the Tails mech, and then he's gonna put in the Sonic Spinball options theme.
Are we going to release another demo level? I think Fizz would know the answer.
Say what, Reese?
Yesn't. That's the answer.
We do want to showcase the stuff that we released. We didn't really have anything to showcase the Wisps with whenever we released Colorful Combat. We did have a tutorial level to showcase the combat, and I think it did a pretty decent job. It probably could have been better, but it was an overall okay.
Banger.
A lot of things could have been better.
Tutorial level. Yeah. We were pretty burnt out by the end of Colorful Combat. We were just
We've been working on a project a lot because like I don't want to say we didn't have anything better to do, but like COVID hit and we're like, oh shoot, let's actually just make this. Let's make 3K. Let's make Colorful Combat.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're making Colorful Combat. Oh, that's a lot. Oh,
COVID ended and we're like, oh shit, we actually have to finish all this.
Wait, COVID ended?
We had a lot of spare time.
Like lockdown ended, like COVID's still going on, but like the U.S. lockdown ended, and we're like, oh shit, we actually have to finish.
And I'm thinking the UK is going into another lockdown, to be honest.
Let's make another Call of Combat then if you're not doing anything.
If you're not busy, Reese. I mean, there's models. I gotta be no.
It's okay. I'll help you make the bobsled.
Fuck you.
Your own Sonic fan game is in production. Well, we hope to see more of that in the future.
We always want to see fan projects.
Or make a game jam in the first.
We were going to do a game jam.
Spot on. Yeah, we are still planning on doing the Infinity game jam. We still want to do that. We're going to wait until 1.0 releases to do it, though.
Yeah, might as well do it in 1.0. Which...
Yeah, because the whole reason why we didn't do the game jam was because, like, oh, we released this update, and then by the time like the game jam is done, we're going to be releasing another update, meaning everyone's just going to have to learn the new update again. So we decided let's wait till 1.0 before we do the game jam.
We're just gonna like. Actually, I don't even know where I was gonna go with this sentence, to be honest.
Hey, at least you're honest.
How close is
1.0?
This update might be 1.0. It just depends on how things go.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say now. I was gonna say, guys, you're gonna have to wait a whole last year for this update. We just can't get it done this year, guys. We're gonna have to wait a year for the update to come out.
It's gonna be 2022. We're gonna wait a whole year until 2022.
Yeah, we want to coincide with the release of Frontiers, so 2022.
Yeah, holiday 2022.
1.0. This update here, I can see us getting this update out in March. Probably. Like that's.
If we get a chance to knuckle down-ish, get it, knuckle.
I think after the holiday season, I'm gonna have a lot more time. I should be able to like buckle down and get to work on it big time. After years, because this week, like once this week is up, I'm gonna be busy the next 3 weeks. Spider-Man comes out this weekend. I'm going to be cut at work, so
oof.
I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time the rest of the month.
As far as I know, I've been informed that I do not have work for the rest of the year, so I actually have time.
So
yes, I'll do the freaking model. I'll get on it.
Yeah.
So, Emmanuel and Reese are gonna have a little bit more time than I'm going to have, but I'm still gonna try and get as much work done as I can.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to start working on. Well, now that I'm mostly built the Spline Cameras, I'll combine the two. I'll combine the two DPs. I'll do it. In fact, I'll do it right now.
Do it right now. Right now. But yeah. This update might be 1.0, depending on how things are progressing. If not, 1.0 should be the next update after this one. I think based on our current pace and how things are going, how things are developing, I think there is the potential that this could be update 1.0. If not, I definitely think the next update will be 1.0. But if we don't make this update the 1.0, the next update is going to be pretty small. Like, the next update is going to be pretty small. Like the actual 1.0 update. Is Shadow done? No. Shadow's not done yet. Once I'm finished cleaning up the character blueprints, such as the master character, the speed parent and flight parents, speed flight and power parents, once they're cleaned up, and probably even the individual character blueprints, such as, like, clean up Sonic a little bit, clean up Shadow a little bit.
Get a bit of crust out of his eye.
Yeah. Get their animation blueprints cleaned up. Once we get that stuff done, then we can go ahead and try and finish up the last bits that we want to do with, like, Shadow, Blaze, Metal Sonic. Yeah, at that point in time, it'll be pretty easy to do that.
Yeah. There's still stuff we want to do. It's not like we stopped working on the characters because there's other things to do, and we're just kind of putting it off. For one, because we, like, for instance, we don't run into the problem with Tails, where, like, we did give us enough time to think about what we want to do with Tails. So we're just kind of, like, waiting, and, like, we've been coming up with ideas and been talking about what we want to do. Instead, we don't have much to show right now because we haven't done a lot, I think. But we haven't kind of distilling
character
ideas.
visual stuff. Not a lot's going to be done until I can get those models sorted. I do need to.
Yeah. There's also that too. Like we're also
you've got time to do that though. Like, even though we want to get it done as soon as possible, like I said, we're not going to be able to do anything else until I finish cleaning up the character blueprints. So even if you got all the models done next week, like, there's still all they need to be done in the blueprints before we do the characters.
Yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to work on after I finish touching up the Spline Camera stuff, like housekeeping and the consolidation, I'll probably. I think I already told Fizz this. I'm probably going to go and, like, refactor the homing attack code, or look into refactoring it.
Yeah, because that's got to be done.
Yeah, like, I know that you said, like, you were going to clean up the master character, so maybe. Well, actually, it's a speed character, so it shouldn't matter.
It'd be in the speed parent. You can do that. Like, I'm going to be working on the master parent. You should be able to work on the speed parent. I'll try to avoid changing the speed parent as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm mostly going to start working on things that are more related to actual character stuff, is what I'm trying to say.
In terms of stage objects, we're nearly done with stage objects. Because, like, there's still, obviously, the swing pole's got to be finished up, but it's already almost done. There's just going to be a bunch of touch-up work with it. We've got
You mainly need animation stuff for that, though, don't you?
Yeah, the pulley is almost done. There's still a little bit of visual work to do with the pulley, and obviously there's animation. And same thing with the zip line. The zip line's got a little bit of work left. But in terms of stage objects, the only thing I can think of are Wisp stage objects, and the only major one I can think of is the Ivory Lightning Rail. Like, I can't really think of any other major Wisp objects to work on. I mean, maybe the Quake button. We do gotta fix Great Quake. Great Quake is still kind of broken.
Yeah, Great Quake needs some love. We also have to iterate a bit on, like, the rocket thing. Not the sling, but the thing that you break through.
Oh yeah, the chili dogs.
Yeah, there's also, like, things I want to do to polish in general. Like, some things involving animation, some things involving just other small interactions. But that's for probably later.
There's your swing pole interaction. Definitely not Pasha. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, I need to get food. I'm hungry.
Wait, not manually got it fixed. What exactly about the 2DS we fixed? Like,
remember the camera problem? Duty.
The one you just showed off?
Yeah, earlier. That should be an easy fix.
Yeah, that's the easy fix. That's like 5 minutes almost. I couldn't make that happen with me because I was changing the zoom and it didn't happen with me.
I didn't do it this time. It just happened.
Weird. You say you pulled the changes, and it's
no,
not
no, I didn't. I didn't. Did I?
Okay. I don't think you did because it's not happening to me.
Oh, I didn't pull the changes. I meant to, and I forgot because we got started. But oh well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So there is a chance this next update that we're going to be releasing, the one we're working on right now, there's a chance it'll be 1.0. If not, it'll be basically like right before 1.0, because 1.0 really shouldn't be too much further off. In terms of features, there's not really a whole lot more we want to add in terms of features. Save for, I think, enemies is the only thing. Like, we wanted to expand a little bit on the enemies.
Oh yeah, they definitely need some looking at. Also, don't forget there's like 2 whole characters that need to be added.
Well, that's post 1.0.
Whisper and
yeah, Whisper and forgot about that.
Well, Silver's kind of in.
Silver needs to be hatched
coded. He needs to actually have like a focus, because right now we just kind of added in things he used to have.
We're just neglecting Silver, like Sega has been.
I'm going to rectify that soon. I say that as I mess around in something else, but I'll do it.
Ezreal's right. Crimson Cock doesn't work in 2 properly.
Crimson Cock?
Yeah. Crimson Cock doesn't work. He's talking about Crimson Eagle, but he said Crimson Cock. Which he meant to say Crimson Hawk, which is still incorrect because it's called Crimson Eagle, not Crimson Hawk. But it's called Crimson Cock now.
Hawk. Jet the Hawk is the only
Jet the Hawk isn't in either. Damn it. We can't do 1.0 without Jet the Hawk.
Jet the Hawk? Where's the cock?
And if we add Jet the Hawk, we've got to add extreme gear. Get voting now, guys.
We're not adding extreme. That's not happening.
But Project Hero has it.
Project Hero can suck my cock.
Project Hero can suck my Jet the Hawk.
Jet the Hawk. Where's the cock? Did somebody say Whisper? Yes, Whisper is being added. The only comic character. As much as I would like to add Tangle.
Unless you guys
and I would like to add Sally.
You don't want to add Sally.
No and no.
Sally.
Okay,
like
maybe Sally. Sally with her sword and shield. I don't know. She could be interesting, maybe.
Maybe you guys can jet the cock on. Okay.
Jet the cock the hawk? Yeah, sure.
Project Hero Slender. I like Project Hero. I don't like being compared to Project Hero, but I like Project Hero.
I'm going to compare you to Project Hero again.
Fizz, you are Project Hero.
You are the Project Hero.
Did you guys vote on the last one yet? No, the poll's not open for the last one. Once we get 1.0 done, then the poll will open. Yeah. I do have to prep the poll, though. I have to get it ready. But that's going to be a story. We're going to have to cancel this project.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I know Hero's going to kill us.
Oh, no. Hero himself is going to come to my house and beat the shit out of me.
He's going to Omni-Man you.
He's going to Omni-Man me.
Think, Fizz, think! I'm the best fan game around. But we're a framework.
What will you have after we release and you're still not at 1.0?
I'll have good times.
Add Jet
YouTube
to the pile.
videos.
Jet, Wave, and Storm will probably be on the list. As individual things, not all together. We're not going to add all 3 characters. But Jet, Wave, and Storm will probably be on the poll.
We're going to add all 3 of them to the poll so that it splits with the vote so that none of them will get it. I mean, they'll be on the poll.
I'm going to...
No. Okay, go.
Uber Eats sent me a notification. Fancy dining in tonight. Wendy's is waiting.
Oh.
Yes, eating fancy Wendy's. That's the good shit right there. I mean, I love Wendy's. I'll simp for Wendy's any day, but I would not call that fine dining.
You would simp for Wendy's.
The finest of dining.
I do think I am going to order Wendy's, though. I do like Wendy's.
I mean, to be honest, you see the Wendy's Twitter account, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Gotta simp for that Wendy's.
This is fine dining for me, Wendy's. That's
the chicken strips. Oh.
And then there's fine dining for me, pizza.
These motherfuckers' phones be eavesdropping. I do order from Wendy's a lot, but that's because I'm fat. So
You're not that fat.
You're not
man.
fat. You're just big smoke.
You're just big smoke.
Get to Wendy's 2 number 9s,
Yeah,
a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip,
extra dip.
2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a
a
large soda.
Okay.
You look fine. Okay, everyone says that, but no one realizes that you guys only see me from the chest up on stream. No one has actually seen my fucking stomach.
I've seen it all.
Yeah,
and
Reese
I'm
has seen
like,
my stomach. Reese has seen,
it's
like,
not bad, man. Shush.
Reese has seen it all.
I've seen it.
You're good, man. Just eat some more vegetables. You'll be fine. You'll live.
Eat some
Speaking
more
of, look what happened to the dev cam. I don't know. I've not felt like having the cam on. Like the
Bad hair day.
webcam.
You didn't have it on when we were reacting to the Sonic movie trailer.
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't have it on. I should have had it on for that one at the very least. But when it comes to streaming as of recent, I've just not felt like having to.
Yeah, Fizz, if you don't have that webcam on, you're not going to be Johnny in terms of views.
I know.
Oh, armor locker.
Oh yeah, we're about to add Halo to the game too, so
Yeah,
get
Master.
ready.
Yeah.
Master Cheeks.
Master Cheeks is getting added as we speak.
Cheeks.
You don't. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing some primary research at the moment. I'm playing Halo Infinite just so I can get the angles that we need.
Yeah, because if it wasn't, and he was just goofing off, that's T. That's in the river.
We should just get.
Tease.
We should just get the model from from Halo Infinite. Pour it in. Like, it's just the model. We don't change anything except his ass, and we just give him fucking cake.
Oh, I was just gonna say just rig him to Sonic's rig and then just see his, like, limbs shrinking and him running around.
Do you think, like, what? Okay, if we were to port Master Chief over to like the Sonic universe, what animal would he
A warthog.
You're fired.
Obviously it's a cat because Meownier.
Oh yeah, Meownier.
I think he'll just be.
Did you make this level geometry? Other than these static meshes that you see on occasion, yes, this entire level is made of geometry.
And landscaping.
Which you should not do. Like, do not make an entire level in geometry. Not do that.
You only use it for block outs.
Yeah.
Which we are blocking out.
You set up a level with geometry. Like, you get things set up and you get it prepped with geometry. Like, the scaling of things, the positioning, how things are going to be placed. That's what you use geometry for. You do not actually design your level.
Now, will we not use geometry in this level? Don't ask that question.
Like, our Seagate is primarily made of static meshes. Like 80% of it is static meshes. There are geometry pieces in there, mostly in the areas where you transition from section to section. That is where a majority of the geometry pieces are. But for the most part, it's all static mesh. And landscape. You can use landscape. Landscape's not bad.
Yeah, just don't do anything complex with it,
terrible.
Please.
Yeah, don't do anything super complex.
Don't make any, like, mountains with landscaping expecting Sonic to just go, all right, I'm totally not going to clip out, and, you know.
Ah! It's just the Family Guy meme. Ah! Oh, God. Ah!
Who would make such a thing?
Have you guys ever had rice cakes?
Yeah, they're good.
They're good. I love rice cakes.
Snacker Jacks.
Well, they're not the best, but I mean, like.
I mean, they have like chocolate chip rice cakes. Kind of defeats the purpose, but you know.
I have salt and vinegar Snacker Jacks.
No, go. No.
What?
Salt
I'm sorry.
and vinegar? Gross.
Oh no, I killed a Marine.
Cheddar Baconator, though.
The Cheddar Baconator rice cake.
How do you guys just like salt and vinegar so much? You gotta put it on fish and chips. You can't have fish and chips without
salt and vinegar, like, chips are okay.
No, fish and chips. You put it on the fish as well.
I'm sorry, I think you're having a stroke. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, as I was saying, bacon, cheese, and...
Not British enough.
We're not British. I've never been to any other place other than like, the US.
This is where you like look at your family lineage and you're like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch freaking British.
1/4 of an inch British.
I'm actually related to the Queen, and like If there's a movie about me, it's like, well, time to go to Britain.
Time to go to Britain land.
The British land.
Talk to the Queen.
How would silver work in Seagate? We did actually alter Seagate to allow silver to traverse it. Like
the Seagate broke in half.
Yeah, Seagate did break in half, but we did originally change Seagate to be compatible with Silver's moveset.
How long did Seagate take to make? I think it took them like 2 weeks.
No, like 3 months.
Yeah, it took me and Reese 3 months. Me and Reese built it, or like just the two of us. Reese did most of the design. I did a lot of the fill out work. I also did some of the design, but Reese did.
Wait, no, but we released the update in like late May, right?
Yeah,
sometime around then.
Reese
You guys started in January?
Yeah, or January, February-ish.
Because I remember you guys starting after like COVID hit, though.
3 and Knuckles, Seagate. That was way before COVID happened. We're talking like...
No, 3 and Knuckles was released after COVID.
Time to research.
I'm 90% sure that 3 and Knuckles was released before COVID. Because
no, it was released in 2020.
We worked on Colorful Combat for an entire year.
Yeah.
Like, Colorful Combat was from 2019 to 2020. And COVID lockdown was over the course of 2020. Like, we didn't go into lockdown here in the US until February or March of 2020. We were already working on Colorful Combat at that point. We had released...
Wait, hold on. Wait, when we released Colorful Combat this year in 2021? We've been working on it since 2020. The summer 2020.
Yeah. But we didn't... we released it earlier this year, didn't we? We released it in May, was it?
We released it in June of 2021. We did work on it a year. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, yeah, we worked on it for a year.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
We released 3 and Knuckles in 2020 in like May.
Let's look here. Where's the trailer for Sonic 3 Knuckles?
I owe you $10 if I'm wrong about the year at least.
Sonic 3 Knuckles. It says 1 year. May of 2020. That's when we released 3 Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like right before, like right around lockdown happened.
Because I had to work from home during that period of time.
Yeah, but me and Reese started on it like in January of that time. That was before lockdown. We started on it before lockdown because most of America went into lockdown in about March.
Yeah, we did start working on the I remember working on it like the year before, stuff like that. I remember like Reese was trying to was making like the gliding for Knuckles, and I was on the bus. He's like, "Can you help?" And like I couldn't talk really, but I could see what's happening. I'm like, "No, this is all wrong. I just made it myself."
If you're gonna do a new demo level, I feel like Planet Wisp would be a good level to do if you're gonna show off the wisps. That would be a good one, but we'll have to see. We do want to do something to show off the wisps, but we've got stuff in the works. We're not working on it right now. We've got so many other things to on, but we do have another level that we want to do. Probably with at the very least 1.0. I don't know if it'll be this update, but it'll at the very least be 1.0.
Yeah. We definitely want to show up the wisps because they do look better, especially after what Reese has been doing with the particles.
Yeah.
Got that particle work. Particle game strong. And you did a few of it as well, Emmanuel. It wasn't just me.
True.
Because there were some particles.
I was being nice. I mean,
yes, and I was being nice in return.
Wait, no, you can't do that.
What? It can't be nice in return?
No.
Shit, you're right. Because it's you.
Wait, what?
Can't be nice because it's you.
Wait, who am I?
You're Derek.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Make Wiz
oh no, anyway.
Sonic BA.
You did make some voice clips for Sonic.
Yep, I still have default clips in here for people to use if they want to.
You have default dance voice clips.
Right here, some voice clips I did.
From ages and ages ago.
That was before Infinity Plus was a thing.
Yeah. I love it how, like, I added my Green Hill Zone, and I thought we deleted it, but somebody managed to find bits of it.
How do you find bits of? Okay.
I don't know.
Didn't you use level streaming for it, or?
I don't think you
Yeah,
did at the
I
time.
did. No, I did use level streaming.
Well, that would
Oh.
explain it.
Remember, we had Ocean Palace or something a long time ago.
We had an original Seagate. Like, because we remade Seagate. Like, we have two versions of Seagate. There's old Seagate and there's new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the old tutorial level too.
Yeah, the old Seagate tutorial. That was a decent. It's small. We needed a new level to showcase Tails and Knuckles, which is what we made the new Seagate for.
Yeah.
And now we need a level to showcase the Wisps.
And we need a new Seagate to show off Jack the Cock.
Yeah. But I don't think there's much of anything else to go over, and we've been going for about 2 hours now, 2 hours 10 minutes. I do have to use the restroom, and I was planning on playing Pokemon tonight, so I will stream again just after a short break after I eat stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go because I need to get ready for tomorrow.
So I think unless you guys have anything else, I think we're probably gonna call it good here.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, the next dev stream will be on the 27th, which is right after Christmas. Maybe we might just skip that one and start in the new year, depending on how things go.
I may not be available then if it's right after Christmas.
Well, the 27th is 2 days after.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't think I don't have Monday set is available, so hopefully I will actually have the day off. Greece is available, and if you're available, and depending on how much we get done in like the next, we might do. But if no one's available, then we may not do it next year. So this could potentially be the last one of the year. It just depends. So either the 27th or the 3rd or the 10th will be our next dev stream. I know it was kind of a bit of a space since our last dev stream, but I was in the process of traveling for holidays. I think we were supposed to do a dev stream last week. Like, I think the 6th was actually the day we were supposed to do our last dev stream. I forgot because I was dead inside.
You forgot.
I forgot. So yeah, either the 27th, 3rd, or 10th, one of those days, we will be doing a dev stream. And yeah, thank you for everybody who came out and joined us. This was a fun one. I enjoyed this dev stream. It was very fun. The video will be up next Monday, obviously. So we hope everyone has a great holiday season. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, depending on which one you prefer. And
yes,
we will either see you in 2 weeks, or next year. It'll be a whole year before we see you guys.
A whole year. Oh my goodness, we are like
dad joke.
Dad jokes. But yeah.
All right. Well, we will see everybody next time, and until next time, we'll see you then. Have a happy holidays.
Bye bye.